Okay, we're live. Welcome to MMA Davao's The Fighter Lounge, and I'm your host, Doc Vince. And today we have an exciting episode. And it's we short notice, but I mean he's a very good guy, and he got my call said, okay, he'll be guesting here. Joining us is none other than a good friend of ours for the longest time, Will Chope. He's the promoter now behind TFC Night 10 or TFC Fight Night 10 rather. It's a groundbreaking event set to elevate the MMA scene in Thailand. Why is that? Because from its regulation by the Sports Authority of Thailand to an incredible lineup of international fighters, this event is really shaping up to set new standards for combat sports in the kingdom. So I guess let's dive into the story behind the fights, the preparations, and what's in store for the future of MMA. So I guess let's get started because it's time.
Now, for those in attendance watching around the world, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time!
There you go. It's time. The busiest fighter of all time. Will, how are you, bro?
Man, doing good. It's been a while, Doc. But I'm not the busiest anymore as far as fight numbers, but I still consider myself busy, at least in the industry.
I know. It's like, man, you not the fights, but you got the promotions, you got your business. Now, I did mention that this is something special. So let's go ahead, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Okay, TFC Fight Night 10 is regulated by the Sports Authority of Thailand, which is a huge milestone. So, can you share with us what this means for the event and the future of MMA in Thailand?
So Thailand or MMA just became officially recognized and just became legal in the country, like officially last year. Like it wasn't totally illegal, but it was like kind of in the gray zone, and it wasn't
Mm,
recognized by the government as a legitimate sport. But in 2024, it finally got it recognized. But besides one championship, there's no other like major pro events or pro MMA events in Thailand. There's plenty of Muay Thai, boxing, and all that,
mm,
but as far as MMA, there's like a big hole. And even in one championship with the Lumpini fights, usually we only see maybe one or two MMA fights like on the card, and the rest is Muay Thai or they do jiu-jitsu or kickboxing. It's not really like heavily MMA focused like it used to be. But TFC is more heavily focused on MMA. We have other combat sports as well, but MMA is definitely the big one for us. But
So,
yeah,
what does this
go ahead.
mean for MMA in Thailand with
Well,
TFC having this one?
uh, well, for the fans in the Philippines, I'll compare the Sports Authority of Thailand. It's kind of like the Games and Amusement Board in the Philippines, or
Mm,
the Athletic Commission in America. So now we have like a sanctioning commission that can actually that oversees us and sanctions us, looks
right.
after like the fighter health and safety, make sure we're meeting the international standard, which TFC was doing before. Like we've been around since 2017 and been self-regulated, but now that we've been like officially recognized by the government, it means a lot more paperwork for the show, a lot more like guidelines and like government
uh-huh,
stuff.
uh-huh,
But
uh-huh.
but it's nice that like Thailand's officially recognizing that we do have government support, and we'll have government officials at the next event tomorrow. Um, so I hope that means like it'll be growth for the sport in Thailand now that the government is behind it.
Right, right, right. But how's the adoption of MMA in Thailand?
Actually, like MMA's been here for a while, especially like in Phuket and in the international gyms, because many UFC fighters and Bellator fighters, and of course one championship, people from all over the world they come to Asia to train, and
Mm,
Thailand's the number one spot. Like,
right.
so we got high level MMA, and now. Like when I first got here in 2010, there was no black belts. Like if you were a blue belt in Thailand, that was like a big deal back in the day for jiu-jitsu. But now Thailand has their own black belts. They have like very good grappling,
Mm-hmm.
really good wrestling, MMA gyms all over, and every major city now has MMA gyms. The Thailand has a national team now. They have actual national players who are training MMA because the rumor is when Malaysia hosts the Sea Games next, that they're going to have MMA as a sport in the Sea Games. So, have you heard about that as well?
I I've heard about IMAF, International MMA Federation, and they're working
Yeah. Well,
on
so
having this for Sea Games and even probably working on it for the Olympics.
and the Asia Games as well. Well, they're already
Yes,
kind
Sea
of
Games.
starting it as well. Gamma, Sea Games, Asian Games, and then the Olympics. I don't know how soon we're going to see like MMA in the Olympics, but
Ah,
once it is, and then it's in these big international amateur events, all these governments are going to start. Like even like a country like Laos or Timor Leste will be like, oh, we need a national MMA team. So they'll be Thailand's already jumped on it. The Philippines has already jumped on it. So a lot of these
mhm.
other smaller countries will be playing catch up.
Right. No, I heard that the director of Sports Authority will be there. I don't know if his name, if I got it right. It's Samut Prakan, and
Yeah,
will he
Samut
be
Prakan.
there? Yeah, it will.
So
Is he coming? And my question is, how would this impact the credibility and visibility of the sports and the organization itself in the kingdom?
yeah, well, this is cool because for us because he's the head of the Sports Authority in Samut Prakan, which is basically like a state here in Thailand. We're the
Mm,
state or district right next to Bangkok, and this is the first time ever Pro MMA has been done here, or in this region. It's been done in Bangkok, it's been done in Chiang Mai and Phuket, but never in these other little districts. So yeah, this will be his first ever MMA event. So we hope to at least put on a good show them the value of MMA that a lot of
mm,
foreigners are interested because and we're using MMA just like they use Muay Thai to promote tourism. We also want
mm.
to use MMA to promote tourism as well. So we have to kind of show our guns tomorrow, make sure nothing
Right.
goes wrong, and everything goes good and smoothly, and hopefully it's a good show. And yeah, we'll kind of see
So
what happens after how he responds to it, and hopefully he
yes.
likes it. And then yeah,
Now, talking about the fighters and the matches, bro. The main event, was it Daniel Kiwi? He's from down there. Daniel
yeah,
Kerr and
yeah. Daniel
Alan
Kerr,
Daniel Kerr and Alan Dos
yeah,
Lies. Who's Alan Dos
yeah.
Lies? And is this is really generating a lot of buzz in the MMA world, specifically on your place? But you know me. I have ears. So what makes this open weight matchup so special? Because I hear a lot of things about this too.
So Daniel, Daniel fought John Wayne Parr before. Daniel has more fights than me. He has over 150 professional fights, the majority in Muay Thai and kickboxing. But he's like his own little like super veteran. He's like a super veteran, just like I'm a super veteran.
Mhm.
Um, and he took the fight on 1 week notice because it was really two beginner heavyweights were going to fight each other. And because it was Thailand, we're like, all right, we'll have the heavyweights be the main event because it's quite rare that we get
Mhm.
heavyweights on small shows here. So I thought that would be a cool and just be a fun fight. Alan Dos Reis, he's a Muay Thai fighter. He's had two Muay Thai fights and he's making his pro MMA debut. But now he's making his pro MMA debut. He's 100 kilos and he's going to be fighting a guy who's 80 kilos in Daniel Kerr. Daniel has obviously vastly much more experience, but 20 kilos is a lot. He's significantly smaller. He's like 45 pounds smaller. So that's a huge
Yeah,
difference. Yeah.
it's like weight versus experience. Who wins?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, with the fighters from all over the world competing, when I say all over the place, please do mention what countries who will be competing. How do you balance this international talents and local representation in the fight cards, bro?
Well, like because I've been all over Southeast Asia, so I'm pretty in tune with like the market here and with all the different fighters in the
Mm,
regions because I've been all over now and even South Asia as well because my business partner with TFC is a Sri Lankan guy. So we're
mm,
really trying to help grow the sport in South Asia and as well as Southeast Asia. So yeah, that's been like my big focus. We have 4 fighters from India. 2 are like superstars in India. So for the Indian markets, like kind of really buzzing about this event because we have 4 of their fighters, but 2 of them are legitimately like quite famous. I say it's like legitimately famous. Like they share some stupid video on Instagram, it gets like 200,000 views. They share some stupid post on Facebook,
Oh,
they're getting thousands of views. Like these guys are like legitimately like popular in their country. Like of course, not many people heard of them outside, but at least in India, we're getting a lot of buzz. So that's nice. Um, yeah, we got 2 Thai fighters on the card as well. So we do have some locals and then we got some local based foreigners that live and train here in Thailand are on the show as well. And yeah, it should be a good event. I'm looking
so
forward
so
to it.
when will you be inviting Filipinos coming over and compete on your promotions, bro?
Oh man, I have so much interest. The biggest thing is just my fault because I just don't have a spot. Like I need to do better about finding sponsors for my event and
Mm.
getting because if I get I would get some good Filipino. If I get a good Filipino to come over, if he comes over, he's not like personally. We make money only really by our ticket sales, and we try to
Right.
get the fighters to sell tickets. And if the fighter can't sell tickets, it's like it doesn't it's not really doing
Mm-hmm.
much for us because we don't have like a media deal or we don't have sponsors, so I can't really afford the flights for all the fighters to come over. The good thing is like Thailand's already like such a hot spot, and do have Filipinos here that do train, and if they're already here in training, they're more than welcome to come and fight for us. So we try to get the foreigners that are already here based in Thailand that are wanting to fight for us.
Mm-hmm. Well, what if we have some fighters, not just in the Philippines, but somewhere like all over the globe, and they just want to compete? Don't worry about the flights; they'll fly there.
Oh yeah, so yeah, 2 of the Indian fighters flew themselves. We
Mm-hmm.
had one guy from Canada fly himself.
Oh,
So we
okay.
do have a couple guys that have flown themselves over here. And in the past events, we've had guys willing to do that. They're planning a trip to Thailand already, and they want to fight while they're here. So then they kind of plan their trip around TFC, and it
Nice.
kind of works
Now,
out for us. It's convenient.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Regarding the matchups, are there any fighters or matchups you feel the audience should really pay special attention, and why?
Um, th- 2 kind like actually Rud Ranch Azad. He's the Indian fighter. He's quite famous in India and in Mumbai. But he's only an amateur. He has like 14 amateur fights. He's fought with Gamma, the Gamma Amateur Organization, and he's like supposed to be a pretty decent prospect for India. I know
Mm.
India is not like the highest level, but he's supposed to be like genuinely good. And he came to Phuket and trained for a month at one of the big gyms in Phuket before the fight. But he's fighting my one of my friends actually named Kevin Wang, and he's
Mm.
also making his pro debut, and he's a really good, highly experienced amateur from Taiwan MMA. So we got Taiwan versus India fighting in TFC, and they're both making their pro debut. And I actually think this could be fight of the night because I know both guys quite well, and I'm I'm actually really lucky that it's such a like even matchup,
Mm.
and they're both even though they're both making their pro debut, they're both like really experienced. So I'm looking forward to that.
We have here Coach Jun Salazar. He's one of the coaches in the Philippines, and he's watching. So, Coach Jun, hello. We're talking about TFC Fight Night 10. And now, the next question would be, what were the biggest logistical or maybe regulatory challenges in preparing for the TFC Fight Night 10, especially under the oversight of the Sports Authority of Thailand?
Yeah, so this is because the MMA just got recognized. This was our first event to fully have to work with them and do all the regulations.
Mm.
And I think my wife had to fill out over 50, like legitimate, like over 50 different papers and fill it out everything.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
the local district sports authority, they were so like by the book. And so and because MMA is new, we had to do everything like perfect. And yeah, my wife did it. My wife's the champ, and without her, TFC would not be possible. So
Mm.
like that was definitely a hurdle to do that. And then also, I had 4 fighters, and four of the fights get messed up literally the last 10 days, and had to switch around the card
Mm.
and find last minute replacements, and that's always a headache. I've had issues before in past cards, but never like this. I've never had 4
Four.
within like a week of the fight. It was,
I
and that's half my fight card. We were gonna have 8 fights, and now we're down
know.
to 7 fights. So it's still 7 fights we have, but 7 fights, 3 guys last minute replacements, and it was just that was a nightmare. That was
I know, man. It's like 4 fighters last minute. You got barely a week before the 5 days. Like, oh, so how was it? How did you juggle it, bro?
Oh, it's just it's like I become almost addicted. Like it's bad enough. Social media and my phone, like I have my phone in front of me all the time. It's bad enough already, but looking for last minute replacements, I feel like I became like a super phone addict, just to like message everybody and get everything and try to find, and like that Daniel Kerr, the guy who fought John Wayne Parr,
Uh-huh,
he
uh-huh.
hit me up on 5 days notice, and he stepped up for the main event. And like I
Yes,
said, even though
yes,
he has
yes.
a lot of fights, for him to step up, take a huge pay cut and fight a guy who's 100 kilos.
Respect.
It's like he's like saved my show. If he saved my
Mm,
event, really
mm.
shout
That's a
outs
huge
to
respect.
Daniel Kerr.
Daniel
Yeah.
Kerr. Yep, I guess we've already talked about the behind the scenes stories there, but are there
Mm.
any more behind the scenes stories about organizing this event or working with the fighters and teams other than 4 people just messing up your schedule or fight
Yeah.
matches?
No, yeah, nothing bad. So the weigh-ins were today. Everything went smooth. Everybody made weight except for one fighter, and one of the fighters was the last minute replacement. Took the fight on a week notice. So like I'll cut him some slack that like he missed weight, but like his opponent wasn't happy. He was like, "Hey, he took the fight on 1 week notice. I'm sorry, man. Not much we can do." Like we let him run for an hour, but he only lost like an extra like half kilo, and so he missed weight. And that was like a little headache. That was the only issue. Like I give him a little bit of slack because he took a fight on a week notice, and it just
Right, right, right.
shit happens. That was my co-main event, the co-main event. So yeah.
5 minutes more. What kind of feedback and response have you received from the fans, locals, fighters, and yeah, the local community leading up to this event?
I'm lucky that I have 2 Japanese fighters that live here in Bangkok, and I think between both of them, they sold like 50 tickets, which is incredible. And they've gotten so much support. And TFC I always do a good job, like of I give a big commission of a ticket sale. So like I'm like, if you sell a ticket, you can keep 50% of the commission. And so like I really try to motivate the fighters to like go out there and sell tickets, because like I'm honest. Like TFC, we don't pay the best. We're a new small promotion. I don't have sponsors. I pay them. I fight in other shows, save my money, and have enough money to promote this small show. So, but I do try to do my best by like, hey, if you sell tickets, you'll make monies, and motivate them. And those 2 Japanese fighters, they sold 50 tickets between the 2 of them. So that was pretty huge. Shout outs to Chanel. Shout outs to Shota. Those guys did that. So
You know what? Mad respects to you, bro. Like people really don't understand how difficult promotions is, not until they are there. And having a fighter doing this, you understand how the fighters really feel because you've been
yeah.
there. You've been to different promotions and making sure this time you'll be right with the fighters and you know how to talk to them, really. And that's the thing. Yeah. Much respect to you. My last question would be the vision and future of MMA, which with TFC now regulated and setting new standards rather. What are your long-term goals for Thailand Fighting Championship and the growth of MMA in Thailand? Do you foresee more partnerships or global expansion, or where do you see this one 5 years from now?
Oh, this is gonna be maybe a slightly long answer. So there's 2 federations or associations with MMA now, and we want to partner up with one of them for all the amateur fights. They're the ones who are handling the national team, and they're the first association in Thailand. They're called TAMA, the Thailand Amateur Mixed Martial Arts Association. So we're gonna try to partner up with them and keep promoting the amateur MMA, but also as TFC, I still want to focus on the professionals as well. I'm not trying to compete with the associations and compete with the amateurs or the government and all that. I just want to promote my pro MMA, give fighters the opportunity so they can use TFC as a stepping stone to like shows like One Championship or the UFC. So that's a big goal of mine with TFC. Um, we plan to have another event, hopefully by Thai New Year, which is in April, and in May we're going to go back to Sri Lanka as well, and it'll be our second TFC event in Sri Lanka because tomorrow will be our 18th event overall. We've had 16 events in Thailand. We've had one in Malaysia, and we've had one in Sri Lanka. So we would like to do a little bit more international shows by calling them a Road to TFC, where fighters fight in those other countries, and they're fighting for a chance to fight in Thailand as well. So that's what I'm hoping to do and just keep doing is hopefully I'm not losing money. I'm just hoping to break even or make a little bit of money and I can keep growing this because
Right.
because for me, like when I finally do retire from fighting, like I'm 34. So when I retire, when I'm about 40, I want to slowly be able to grow TFC from now until I'm 40. So that way, when I retire from fighting, I can do TFC like full time. So I don't know. That's
When
kind of like my goal at least.
when was your last fight, Will?
Just a couple months ago, I fought in 2 months ago. I fought in Kazakhstan. I lost though, but yeah, those are tough guys. but yeah, I fought for the lightweight title in the show in Kazakhstan, and then ended up losing, unfortunately.
What's this martial arts wherein you use your headbutts? I forgot that one.
Oh, Lethway, when you
Letway,
Myanmar
yes,
boxing.
yes. Are you still gonna compete Letway?
If I can get the opportunity, Myanmar still has like their own like problem with the war or their own government issues.
Oh
So
yes.
there hasn't been like a lot going on as far as Lethway. Like Lethway was going super. It was growing really fast, and all of a sudden Myanmar had its internal issues with their with
In,
their with the
with the
war and stuff. So
politics, government, yeah.
so so yeah, like until that stuff clears up, I don't know when I'll get a chance to fight Lethway again. But hopefully it clears up. Everything's good and safe in the country, and I can go back and then go fight
Oh,
Lethway again and headbutt some guy.
bare knuckle.
Yeah, bare knuckle and headbutt. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have any fight for BKB, or are you still gonna are you gonna compete there?
I was supposed to fight in Oman actually next weekend, but then the fight got canceled because one of their investors there's some big problem with it.
Hmm.
So I'm just waiting for my next fight. I just asked a show in Dubai. They're looking for a last minute replacement. Most likely, some show will need a last minute replacement, and I'm always raising my hand
Always
to fight.
ready. Always
So yeah,
ready.
it'll
Yeah,
be just some last minute something somewhere. So, but I'm training. I'm in good shape right now. So any show, I'm always ready. I'm always keen to sign up. You know me.
bro. It's a pleasure having you here, and I thank you for the last minute thing. I just want to say this: MMA Davao is always open to Will Chope and the TFC. So if you anything I can do for you, let me know. We'll promote it. You know, this is your home, and I'll give the whole
Yeah.
floor to you. Go ahead, give a shout out, invite people. When is the event? Where's the event? What time starts? And
Hey,
the main event.
so
Go ahead, please.
TFC Fight Night 10. It's tomorrow night at TFC Muay Thai Gym here in Bangkok, Thailand. Yeah, you guys can come out. The show starts at 6 p.m. The first fight will be 6 p.m. Doors open at 5 p.m. Please come if you want to come. And then, oh yeah, shout outs to you, Vince. Whenever you're back in Davao, and if you plan on an event, hopefully one day I'll be able to bring a Road to TFC to the Philippines as well. That would be amazing. So hopefully we can do that one day.
That would be awesome, bro. Thank you so much. And that wraps up another episode of the Fighters Lounge. And a huge thank you to Will Chope for giving us an inside look at TFC Fight Night 10 and for sharing his vision and for the future of MMA Thailand. Bro, just give me the links and everything. I'll put it right here. This will be on our Facebook page and YouTube. Stay safe, be safe, and I'm going to congratulate you in advance. See you later, bro.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, bro. Cheers.